going on here? We're going to bring Kenny on for initial reaction. But look, the CPI was up 7.1% in November on an annualized basis, and expectations were calling for a cool down to 6.5%. Kenny, let's start with you. How is the market reacting so far?
It's reacting. It's bending to my will. That's how it's reacting. So April was joking around about how I didn't care about CPI data or when it was going to come out because it's all pre-programmed. Look at my chart, friends. When you have my chart on your screen and the market's crashing, but you have a line that's telling you where there's major support and it hits that line and reconfirms your support, you buy right there, and now you sell into the move, and you already made a nice couple of days pay. And right now we're long the queues looking for the full retrace. So you guys think I'm joking around still. When I have the line on my chart that tells me where the market's going to go and where it's going to sell off to and where it's going to go back up to, it pretty much makes trading a lot easier. So in the face of all this monster move, look where it went to, friends, to the exact price. That's not a fantasy right there. It just happened right there. And we bought it off that line, sold into the move, and now our stop is the bottom of this candle. Have a nice day.
Hey, all right, Kenny. You know, I was expecting a little bit more of a movement here. Oh, guys, we still are under the point of control. I was waiting for at least a gap
move.
higher. What'd you say, Kenny?
It was a 6-point move to the downside. That's pretty big. Pretty big move.
Not for me.
Okay. When I move, you move better, just like that. All right, let's go.
Hey, all right, let's bring Garrett here. Garrett, you're a 41-year-old man and not a data mule, so I'm not going to ask you what the new CPI number is. But tell me, what are you seeing in futures this morning?
We anticipated you had the market move higher, right? You got a little bit of a move right now. Kenny moving higher. It's continuing to push. It's now above VWAP. It's probably going to go right to the 200-day moving average, and then that kind of creates a little bit of a reset for this market heading into the final weeks of the year. I've been sitting here looking at this data set. It's right in line, 6.5 on the nose, 0.1 negative, 0.1 month over month, right on the nose. And there's going to be a bunch of people making a lot of big deals about this report and that it shows that inflation's going lower. Again, you got to keep in mind the CTAs, the people who are in charge of buying and speculating around oil, were gone last month, and we're seeing oil now push higher. I'm more concerned about the January report. I'd never really cared much about the December one. We'll just probably hit the 200-day, and then we'll probably roll back over and start this whole process over again.
That's what I mean, Garrett. Hold on. Before we make this, before we get more into the technicals here, let's just bring on Shaw. Shaw, we got to have your reaction this morning. After 4 days of gains in the NASDAQ, is this pre-market action surprising you whatsoever?
No, the gains that we saw in the NASDAQ were based on, I think, it being grossly oversold relative to the S&P by about 3 standard deviations. So there was certainly room for the NASDAQ to pop. Being the most interest rate sensitive index, it made sense that it was going to work its way higher because I think the consensus, not what you see, but in traders' minds and investors' minds, the consensus is probably, okay, with the worst is over as far as inflation, whatever the number is, it's probably going to be better than expected, and it's probably time to start to get into or nibble into some stocks. And that's why the NASDAQ, I think, caught up with the S&P as far as being oversold to being pretty much where it should be now. The reaction today is a little surprising. I would have expected, and maybe by the end of the day, we'll see the markets higher. But this is not a bad number. This is a completely expected number, right in line with expectations. And I think it says, yeah, inflation is going the right direction. So I'm surprised we've seen this reaction, a little bit of negativity at the open here, at least on the number on the futures.
Yeah, I mean, it's chopping around now. We're now, like Kenny was waiting for that reversal. We're getting that a little bit pre-market. Let's bring on his boy 8Baller. What market swings do you think will happen as this session continues? We were higher, number came out, we were lower, now we're creeping back up, but it's kind of still at a standstill in my point of view. What do you see?
I just got to give it up to Warlock just now. Come on. Talk about one of the greatest traders out there. What a call just now. Week's over.
That's right, baby.
Nice whiplash action. Gold is zooming. By the way, gold above 1,900 now. That's over $100. was telling you what you were determining, what was your risk. Amazing. So everything's in line, but the headline month over month. So yeah, Kenny calls it the levels at 280.87, between 280.87, 281.12 on the Qs. To me, then it's open air. So not too dissimilar from what Shah's just saying about oversold conditions. SPY's 397.80. If it wants to get there, probably going to tag 400.
All right, and 400, that's right around, and you're looking at SPY, that's right around the 200-day moving average, correct? Is that what you're eyeballing, 8-baller?
Eyeballing it, yep. I'm not looking at moving averages anymore.
No?
I'm saying I don't look at moving averages so much anymore. Can you hear me?
Why not? Yeah, why not?
Because VWAP is the only thing one needs. No, in all seriousness, I'm watching the price action right now. We retested basically where the highs were this morning. I'm really focused now on the sectors right now. Not Apple, AL, Taiwan semis, some good news out there. Right now, there's, again, whiplash action. We'll see how the market's open at 9:30.